You have been focusing on researching as part of the process toward your persuasive essay drafts. Along with this, you have also spent time considering best practices for paraphrasing to avoid issues of plagiarism. One best practice you may hear from a number of sources, as one student has put it, "When in doubt, cite it out." That is, you can't be faulted much for over-citation, and citing when in doubt can also give you valuable opportunities to repeatedly practice your in-text citations and works cited entries. One contribution I can make to the discussion is quotation analysis. See the handout posted in the course announcement. Quotation analysis refers to 3 steps to responsible integration of source material. Note that it is relevant and necessary whether you are using a direct quotation or a paraphrase of a source. The first step is to introduce the source. Avoid beginning a sentence with the quotation marks and avoid a quotation island or a standalone quotation isolated in the middle of your paragraph. The introduction may be as simple as, "According to one study," or "as Anne Lamott writes." The second step is to provide the direct quotation or paraphrase. For example, I might choose the following quote from Lamott. "Perfectionism is the voice of the oppressor, the enemy of the people." Put steps 1 and 2 together and I have the following. As Anne Lamott writes, perfectionism is the voice of the oppressor, the enemy of the people. Don't forget the citation. I might like to use this direct quote because Lamott uses unique language that would be difficult for me to capture in a paraphrase. I can use a stronger introduction to contextualize my quote in step 1. For instance, "Some people take pride in perfectionism, but there is reason to be wary." Lamott, for one, calls perfectionism the voice of the oppressor. Now I've pared down the direct quote to a phrase in order to emphasize my own thoughts and words. I've also explained Lamott's quote by characterizing it as a negative attitude through the words "be wary," which is also part of step 2. Step 3 is essential. Without this step, I am not fully integrating the external source into my own argument. For Lamott's point about perfectionism, I may be making my own argument about the most productive attitudes one can adopt in the writing process. I might follow the quote then with the following reaction that explains why perfectionism is counterproductive. In its revulsion to making mistakes or offering arguments that don't ultimately pan out, perfectionism can actually be harmful to the writing process. Its oppressive nature chokes out experimentation of both ideas and language that would encourage and even elicit our best ideas in drafting. Our sources can be valuable for helping us prove arguments or logically connect and validate our ideas, but we cannot allow research to take over our essays. Ultimately, our own insights are most important in our writings. Quotation analysis can help to ensure that our voices are not lost or obscured in the composition process.